become investors, traders, anybody else seeking financial freedom. So we've identified the stocks, bonds or funds you'd like to invest in, but we need to find somewhere to hold these in an account of sorts. So in the UK there's a few different options that we'll go through in this video that can save you tax on stock growth, through capital gains tax, reduce your income tax, or even get you a 25% bonus on sums that you invest. So ISAs are the most common fund for saving, and everybody knows that in the UK. If you've ever looked at any sort of saving, you'll find there's cash ISAs, stock and shares ISAs, and other types of ISAs. And ISA stands for an individual savings account. So the first place we will look at to store these stocks and shares is in a stocks and shares ISA. And there's many different providers for these, and I'll discuss that in a separate upcoming video. And you can invest up to £20,000 per financial year into this stocks and shares ISA if you haven't invested in any other ISAs that tax year, and this can grow fully free of capital gains or income tax, and they're in a completely shielded environment as the tax has already been paid before it's been invested. So this is the best way to invest in stocks in the UK if you're investing without any specific target in mind, like purchasing a house, retirement, any of those sorts of things. And these accounts can buy funds, trackers, bonds, individual shares, any of those sorts of things can all be held within a stocks and shares ISA. And obviously they're all, as mentioned before, all tax free. The next sort of account that you can hold it in is just a traditional investment account, and there is no limit that can be invested into these, unlike the stocks and shares ISA. So you only usually use these if you have hit your ISA limit of £20,000 per year, which most people don't, but if you're a big time investor, usually you have to use these at some point. And so these can hold the exact same things that stocks and shares ISA can in terms of funds, stocks, shares, ETFs that can be purchased. So these do however have no tax protection and can lead to having to pay capital gains tax bills if you exceed your personal capital gains tax allowance per year. And typically these would only be advisable if you've already maxed out your ISA allowance this year, as said before. So they're fairly simple. They do have fees, usually around between 0.2 to 0.5% per provider, and again we'll go through that in a separate video. But the next sort of ISA you can hold any sort of stocks, shares and those sorts of things in is a lifetime ISA. And these lifetime ISAs are where you can get your 25% bonus. They do have a much smaller limit of £4,000 per year, but that goes up to £5,000 per year once you get your 25% bonus of up to £1,000 per year. So, but once this £4,000 limit is reached, that just counts towards your ISA allowance. You can still put £16,000 a year into a stocks and shares ISA or a cash ISA. And these can also grow tax-free, completely tax-free, as they're still in an ISA. The government issues the 25% bonus whenever you invest, and it will depend on provider when you actually get paid your money, but usually it's within 10 weeks of your investment, your money will appear in your account. And the government issued these with the 25% bonus with the hopes of boosting home ownership or increased retirement savings rate. These are both things that need to be increased, so the government was issuing these as an incentive. I'll talk about why retirement savings must increase in the UK in a future video, the importance of investing. But if you're watching this sort of video, you're already many steps ahead of most people in the UK, and you're definitely on the right track. So the catch with these ISAs is that you must be 18 or over, but also under 40 to open one. And you can only use them to purchase a house under the value of £450,000, which I imagine most first-time buyers will be, or take the savings out without penalty once you reach 60 years of age. Also, if you are terminally ill and have 12 months left to live, the government will allow you to take it out without penalty then. That's obviously an extraordinary case. But I do personally hold a lifetime ISA, as I see it as an immediate 25% rate of return before I even begin investing, as I am saving to purchase a property as well as stocks. So this makes sense, as well as investing in stocks, this makes sense to do. So even if you're saving for retirement, I do think this is something worth considering. Even if you use this one to fill up the £4,000 first, and then invest anything left that you're investing for the rest of the year over into another ISA or an investment account. So the only final account that is left to talk about really for an adult there is obviously junior ISAs, which operate in a similar way. However, they are for people under the age of 18, and they're not unusually controlled by parents rather than the individual being. So I won't talk about these in that video, but there is also an SIPP, which is self-invested pension plan, and these are usually used for people investing on their own for a specific purpose. So these will only be allowed to be taken out once you're over the age of 55, and at that point you can take out as much as 25% tax-free, and the rest of that 75% will be taxed as income. So when you're a basic rate taxpayer paying 20% and invest £100 into this self-invested pension plan, it actually only costs 80, as you're getting tax relief for the 20%. And for a higher rate taxpayer paying 40%, it would only cost £60 to get £100 in the fund, for example. And this amount will be worked out on your tax bracket whenever you invest. And these also can hold the same things that a lifetime ISA, investment account, and stocks and shares ISA can all hold. But obviously the catch is that you can only take it out once 55, and not like a house like you can with lifetime ISA, or any time with a stocks and shares ISA. So thank you for watching this video. I hope that it's been informative and been helpful for everybody. If you have any ideas of any other videos you'd like to see, please comment below. And also like, subscribe, it really helps me a lot. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.